All right, this question was posted on the discussion board. It's an empirical rule question, and when we use the empirical rule, the thing I like to do first is draw a bell curve. Sometimes they look great, sometimes they don't. This one looks pretty darn good as far as I'm concerned. We put the mean, and then we put the different standard deviations in there. I'm going to say plus or minus 1 standard deviation. I'm going to put here. Do you remember, like, what percentage of data is between +1 and -1 standard deviation?
Isn't it 68%?
It is 68% in between +1 and -1 standard deviation. So in this case, our mean, as it says up here, I'm pointing, but you can't see, is 103. So a mean IQ of 103, and the standard deviation they have listed over here is 14. So we've got to do that 103 plus 14 and the 103 minus 14. So over here we're going to have mu mean plus 1 standard deviation, which is 103 plus 14. Oh my lord. 117. Does that sound right? 17.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That whole addition subtraction thing, you've known me long enough to know that that's not where my strength is. So go ahead of me on this one. So then we're going to do 103. This pencil's not that good. Minus 14 to get 89. Yeah?
Yeah, 89.
Okay, so 68% of the population, as tested by this kind of IQ score, is it an IQ score? Yeah, have an IQ between 89 and 117. And this question is asking us about between 61 and 145. So we clearly have to go out at least one more standard deviation. So I'm going to go out another standard deviation here and another standard deviation here. And this is going to be mu plus 2 standard deviations. So it's going to be 103 plus 2 times 14, or 103 plus 28. So 131? I sound so confident,
Yeah.
don't I? Okay, good.
Yeah.
And then, do you have a calculator? Not that we need one. Never mind. I'll just do it. So then here we have mu minus 2 standard deviations, which is our average, or our mean was 103. We're going to take away 2 times 14, so 103 minus 28. Did you do it ahead of me?
It's 75.
75, thank you. Ooh, 75 is a nice number. Okay, so between these two, do you remember what the empirical rule is for between within two standard deviations? Do you remember what that percentage is?
It's 95%.
95%. Do you have notes in front of you?
Maybe.
Okay. No, good, you should. I'm not, in my class you're allowed to use notes. It's totally fine. Okay, so, but they're asking between 61 and 145, so I bet you it's going to be one more up and down. Let's do one more up and down and see what we got. So if we go down one more and up one more, what percentage of the data is within 3 standard deviations of the mean? Do you remember?
99.7.
Remember / have lovely notes that you've been taking while you've been reading and watching videos. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that we're there. So mu minus 3 standard deviations is 103 minus 3 times 14, which I don't even want to think about that. I'm just going to take 14 away from this. 75 minus 14 is 75 minus 10 is 65 minus 4 is 61. So that's a 61, which is what the lower bound was that they were asking for in the problem up there. So I thought I had autofocus off. Why is it doing that? Okay, now it's better. Okay, and let's make sure that this gives us the other one. This is a mu plus 3 standard deviations, which is 103 plus 3 times 14, but rather than doing 3 times 14, we're just going to add it to here. So 131, 141, 145. Let's check and see if that's what it was. It was between 61 and 145. So they were asking for what percentage of the population has an IQ between 61 and 145, and it's almost the entire population. So it would be 99.7% of the population based on the empirical rule. So there we go. Hopefully that helps the student that asked this on the discussion board.